8th chapter and the 50, sutta number 54. It's called Dīghajāṇusutta. Dīghajāṇusutta because it was given by Buddha to Dīghajāṇu. So Dīghajāṇu he comes to Buddha and he asks questions to Buddha. So you get a lot of these instances, many instances where people just come and ask Buddha, some question, and then Buddha answers. So a lot of instances are there. Throughout the sutta, you will find that. And Buddha answers. But of course, Buddha avoids certain questions which are not useful, which are not kind of beneficial. So he doesn't answer. But he will answer those questions which are helpful, which are beneficial. There are many questions like, how the world started, who created the world. These are the questions Buddha said are futile. They are not beneficial. They are not necessary. You see. So questions like how to be happy, how to be successful, how to enjoy happiness, how to be wiser, how to be free from dangers, sickness, and worries. These are the questions that Buddha is generally concerned about. So he puts those questions. So let's start. So at one time the Buddha was staying in the land of the Kolyans, where they have a town named Kakkarapatta. Then Dīghajāṇu, the Kolyan, went up to the Buddha, bowed, sat down to one side, and said to the Buddha, "Sir, we are lay people who enjoy sensual pleasures and living at home with our children. We use sandalwood imported from Kasi. We wear garlands, fragrance, and makeup, and we accept gold and currencies. May the Buddha, gold and silver, may the Buddha please teach us the Dhamma in a way that leads to our welfare and happiness in this life and in future lives." So this is a question that sums up the householder life, family life, right? You have house, you have families, children, you have properties, then gold, silver, a lot of other accessories, like makeup, fragrances, and clothes, It is same in today's time also, right? A lot of clothes, a lot of shopping, right? Shopping is so much part of your life, right? As a householder, yeah. How many shoes you have, how many clothes, and how many things, and a lot of people, many cars, many houses, and like that. So you have so many things, and now he's saying this is how it is. This is how the household life in the time of Buddha and even today also. So amidst this, now since you have so many things, so which means you are into what you call sensual pleasure. So you are into the sensual life, right? You are, as a householder, your primary kind of engagement is sensory life, sensual life or sensual pleasures through watching, hearing, smelling, tasting food. Yes, a lot of foods, biryanis, and chickens and fried chickens and what else? Fried potatoes, and you're getting getting water in your mouth. So a lot of foods, right? It is a click away. You just click it and you get it, right? It is so much intense. It is so much a kind of addiction. And then some people, of course, a lot of wine, liquor, so all of that. So I mentioned about food as well, clothes as well. And imported from Kasi, so you want certain imported one, which means you want things which is best from particular place. So nowadays, not just from Kasi, but from Paris. You want things from Paris, things from other countries. So all of this, and then of course music, all kinds of music, cinemas, music, concert, and then all of this, right? So for every senses you have something to see, something to hear, something to smell, something to taste, something to touch, which is your clothes, something to put on, and then also for your mind, all the novels, fiction, non-fictional, books. So a lot of books which are, which are there, they are also not necessarily any importance, but something that gives you that kick, right? You get that mental kick. You feel, that. So for all the six senses, you have something, and that's how it is, right? So primarily you are dependent on sensory objects. These are called arammanas, arammanas. Rupa, Saddha, Gandha, Rasa, Pottabha, Dhamma. Rupa, whatever you see, Saddha, what you hear, and then Gandha, smell, and Rasa, taste, and Pottabha, touch, and Dhamma, mental object, mental, mental world, the thinking and other thing, perception. So this is your world. So now, how can, because these are also quite, quite enticing. They are very enticing. They are quite difficult to, one challenge. Keep your phone one day away, and you will see how it is, right? You will find it so much kind of difficult, right? So these are very enticing. And now the question this Dīghajāṇu is asking is, what do we do? And you can also imagine why he is asking this question. Okay, he has all this thing, and he must be, he is a Korean, so he must be from aristocratic family, well-to-do family. So you have all these thing. And now, why he is asking Buddha to give a teaching, which means to say that at the core, this sensory world, the world of senses, is not going to give us the ultimate satisfaction or joy or happiness. That is for sure, that you might have also kind of experienced, right? You would listen something, then you would eat something, then you would do something one after another, but after the point you're exhausted, enough of it, right? You just feel, no, I don't want any of it. So that's one of the problem of sensual life, which is that it's like Buddha said, it's like a salty water, right? No, how much you take the salt water, you're not going to get satiated, you're not going to get satiated or satisfied. So also Buddha gave one example that there is a dog, and somebody gives a bone, a chicken bone, or say sheep bone, some bone. So he gives to that dog, and the dog bites it, right? It keeps biting and biting and biting, thinking that there is something, right? Because it has naturally, bones are associated with meat, right? So the dog knows that it is associated with meat, so thinking there must be some meat, keeps on biting and biting and biting, and after a point, blood starts coming from its own mouth, right? After a point, and the bone is smeared with blood. It is covered with blood, And now the dog thinks that it is a meat. There is meat. That's why there is blood on this bone, right? The dog thinks, and it further bites, and the blood further flows. But then, because of that some kind of blood, it feels some kind of taste. Its own blood it is tasting, supported by the bone, and the dog gets some kind of satisfaction, of course, not like a kind of a thin satisfaction, So Buddha said sensual pleasure is like that, right? Like the dog, we also run after sensual pleasure, and the blood is nothing but our own energy, right? Our own energy is kind of used in that pursuit, right? For example, you're watching something, so your own sense, your own eyes, your own ears, your own mind is involved there. So, of course, you get a bit of satisfaction, but then once that is done, then you are no more happy. There is no lasting happiness. There is no constant, right? There is no constant, persistent, continuous happiness. It is not there. It is just not there. So that's how it is, right? So surely he might have experienced the same. So he is asking Buddha what to do. So Buddha said, Bhakkhapajja, these four things lead to the welfare and happiness of a gentleman in this life, a good person in this life. What for? Accomplishment in initiative, protection, good friendship, and balanced finances. And what is accomplishment in initiative? It's when a gentleman earns a living by means, or you can say when a good person earns a living by means such as farming, trade, raising cattle, archery, government service, or one of the professions. He understands how to go about these things in order to complete and organize the work. This is called accomplishment in initiative. And what is accomplishment in protection? It's when a gentleman owns legitimate wealth that he has earned by his own effort and initiative, built up with his own hand, gathered by the sweat of the brow. He ensures it is guarded and protected, thinking, how can I protect my wealth from being taken by rulers or bandits, consumed by fire, swept away by flood, or taken by unloved heirs? This is called accomplishment in protection. And what is accomplishment in good friendship? It's when a gentleman resides in a town or village And in that place, there are householders or their children who may be young or old, but are mature in conduct, accomplished in faith, ethics, generosity, wisdom. He associates with them, converses with, and engages in discussion, and he emulates the same kind of accomplishment in faith, ethics, generosity, and wisdom. This is called accomplishment in good friendship. And what is accomplishment in balanced finances? It's when a gentleman, knowing his income and expenditure, balances his finances, being neither too extravagant nor too frugal. He thinks, in this way, my income will exceed my expenditure, not the reverse. It's like an appraiser or their apprentice who, holding up the scales, knows that it's low by this much or high by this much. In the same way, a gentleman, knowing his income and expenditure, balances his finances, being neither too extravagant nor too frugal. He thinks, in this way, my income will exceed my expenditure, not the reverse. If a person has little income but an opulent life, people will say, this gentleman eats their wealth like a fig eater. If a gentleman has a large income but a Spartan life, people will say, this gentleman is starving themselves to death. But a gentleman, knowing his income and expenditure, leads a balanced life, neither too extravagant nor too frugal, thinking, in this way, my income will exceed my expenditure, not the reverse. This is called accomplishment in balanced finances. So these are the first four things. There are different parts within it. The first part is this four thing. So Buddha is speaking about four things, which is initiative, protection, good friendship, and balanced finances. Right? So initiative is about earning. So Buddha is giving a very practical teaching, for lay people, for householders. He's not just saying, just meditate, everything will be good. He's not saying that, right? He's saying, be practical. So about earning, so initiative. So different, whatever profession, whether farming, business, raising cattle, archery, government service, or any of the professions. So whatever profession. So as a householder, you have to earn, right? You have to earn. You have to have finances. You have to take care of your financial situation, right? He's not saying that, okay, no need to worry about money, just meditate. He's not saying that, right? He's saying you have to work, you have to earn, in whatever way. He understands how to go about these things in order to complete and organize the work. So you have to understand. You should have an understanding how to do my work. How can I do my work? So you have to be skillful. For that you need to be educated. You need to be, you need to get yourself updated, Now, this sounds very simple, when he says he understands how to go about this thing in order to complete and organize the work. But nowadays, you see, we hear a lot of people where they do their work or business, but somehow there is some kind of mistake, some kind of failure. Why? Because you have not educated yourself enough, right? So whether you are an employee or employer or businessman or whatever you are, you have to, educate yourself. How can I do it in the best way possible? What are the best book which is available? Who are the best people who can guide me, right? So we need to be looking for guidance, looking for mentorship, so that we can really be successful in our financial system, right? In our, in our job or business, because this is something that is part of your life, right? You have to have money. Whether you like it or not, you need to have money. So this is the first, you earn, right? You earn well. Now comes protection. So Buddha is also saying, it's not just enough you earn, but you have to protect, right? You have to think about how to protect your wealth, how to invest, or how to protect it, how to where to put, where to invest. This thing, like they say, right? Don't put all the eggs in one basket. Those kind of thing, right? So Buddha is very practical. He's saying that you have to make sure that it's not taken by any bandit. Like these days, you have scammers who are hackers or scammers. So you have to be careful from that. Or fire or flood. Those were the days. But in today's time, it is more about not so much about this thing, but it is digitally. So you have to protect, right? You have to make sure that all your wealth are in proper protection, and you have to see where it is, where you have put it, how to invest in multiple places, and all of that, right? So that you have somehow a good kind of grip over your wealth. Then good friendship. So thirdly, you need to have a good friend, right? You need to find good people, right? Because as Buddha said, or some of you you have heard, that whole of our life depends on our friendship. People like some people who are your friend, they have a huge influence on your life. So what Buddha is saying, that wherever you're staying, you go to people, they may be young or old, because sometimes your friend doesn't need to be of your age. The friend may be younger to you, very young to you, or older to you, doesn't matter, right? They don't need to be of your age. Maybe of your age is okay, or any other. So those are people who are good in conduct, which means they have a good conduct, good values, good values, good conduct, good ethics. They have that, right? They have a strong ground of ethics. So what is ethics? It's a Panchashila. Somebody who doesn't kill, doesn't steal, doesn't commit sexual misconduct, doesn't tell lie, doesn't engage in drinks and other bad thing. Accomplish in faith. So who have faith in goodness, right? Faith in the sense here, faith in maybe Buddha, like Buddha, or some in your own. Maybe you may have faith in somebody who is very high in spirituality, who is who has achieved higher spiritual goal, like Buddha. So who have good faith in that kind of a stable faith, stable conviction. And then generosity, somebody who is generous. Your friend should be somebody who is generous, who is not stingy, who shares, whatever they can, whatever they could within their capacity. And wisdom, and who have wisdom. Wisdom means that you somebody who has always this constant awareness that everything is subject to change. One day or other, everything is changing, will change, is changing. So the understanding of change is wisdom. Somebody who has that. And he associates with them, converses and engages in discussion. And he associate with them and talk to them. So like when you have a friend, you talk, right? And if the friend is wise, generous, ethical, and faithful, then your discussion will be in this line, right? Your discussion will be about this thing. So naturally, what will happen, he emulates the same kind of accomplishment, faith, ethics, generosity, and wisdom. So you will also emulate, you will also follow, you will also become like him. Somebody said, show me your friend, I will show your future. Something like that. So, so your friend, you will talk in that, and you will talk, and then accordingly you will become like that, right? So choose your friend wisely. Buddha went to the extent of saying that if you don't really find a good friend, better to be alone, right? So he went to that extent, which means to say that if you don't have a good friend, then be alone, because if you have a bad friend, then they are not going to help you anyway. They are not going to be beneficial. So now the third one, balance in finances. So Buddha is speaking about balance in finances, which means your financial life, how you manage your finance, how do you go about your finance, your lifestyle. In other words, your lifestyle, these days it is called lifestyle, right? So what Buddha is saying, that you have to have a balanced finance life. It's when a person knowing his income and expenditure, balance his finances. So you have to know your income expenditure, where your money is coming and is going. Some people come and tell me, we have a lot of money coming, but I don't know where it is going. And how you are spending your money? You must know, right? So you don't know where your money is going. That's really, really strange. So Buddha is saying you have to know, you have to have a understanding, or you have to have some record of your own income and expenditure. And balance is finance, so you have to live a balanced financial expenditure, being neither too extravagant nor too frugal. So you are not too much, you are not too much extravagant, which means you don't overspend, and you are not too underspending, right? So which means what? In this way, my income will exceed my expenditure, not the reverse. So you live within your budget, in simple word, right? You have a life within your budget, right? You have less money, but you are spending too much, on something. So you spend according to your budget, right? And you are not frugal also, which means you have money, but you are not using. That is also bad, right? Stingy. There was one in Buddha's time, one person, Soreya. He was a billionaire or millionaire, but he was not spending on anybody, including himself. So like that, you should spend. You should not too much be stingy as to yourself and others. You have to spend according to your. In this way, my income will exceed my expenditure, not the reverse. So you have to see that your income should be more than expenditure, right? So it should be in a way where your income is there, which means you have some savings, right? You have some savings. It is not like you are spending too much out of your budget. It is like an appraiser or their apprentice who holding up the scale knows that. So it's like when you are measuring something, like a scale, like a weight machine or scaling, when you are, doing that thing. So you see the weight. So it's okay, this much it is low, this much it is high. So you have to kind of balance. Like when they sell vegetable, right? They put something here and something here for the material, and the balances. So if the gentleman has little income but an opulent life, people will say this gentleman eats their wealth like a fig eater. If a gentleman has a large income but has a Spartan life, people will say this gentleman is starving themselves to death. So if you have a lot of money but you are living a very low kind of a life, like a very, you're spending less, then people will blame you. But if you have less income, so also you have less income but spending too much, so people will blame you. So in the sense, people will blame you, and also it is eventually have effect on your own finances. So your financial system, your lifestyle, you're based on your own income and accordingly managing it. So now next 4 is there. This is the first 4, which is about your income, income, your business, and then your friendship and protecting it, and then your finance. So everything more about finances, but friendship. Now in the next one, Buddha is saying that how your wealth drains. What are the way you lose money? So there are 4 drains on wealth that has been gathered in this way: womanizing, drinking, gambling, having bad friends, companions, and associate. Suppose there was a large reservoir with 4 inlet and 4 drains, and someone once was to open up the drains and close off the inlet, and the heaven don't provide enough rain. You would expect that large reservoir to dwindle, not expand. In the same way, there are 4 drains on wealth that has been gathered in this way: womanizing, drinking, gambling, having bad friends, companions, and associates. So the 4 way you will lose your wealth. And even today, of course, even those days, even today also, mostly, of course, the men is the one who earns, right? So how you will lose the wealth? By womanizing, right? So this was a long time, even today. Even today we have, like we hear a lot of men having affairs, isn't it? They have an affair with other women, and when you have an affair means you have to spend, right? You have to spend on them, and then you will not have one affair, you will have multiple affairs, because that desire, as I said, the example of bones and dog, it will never end. You will have all the women in the world, or for men also, for women also, you will have all the men in the world, but you will not be satisfied just by, sexual desire, right? So that's, Buddha has put it first, it's something very serious, I guess, yeah. And we do hear a lot, including some people who just come and tell me also, this is my husband, he's just, having affairs. And that's why a lot of divorces, isn't it? Divorces also happens because you have to spend money in so many things, and then your own family is not on the right track. Then what will do? Divorce, right? So you lose money, a lot in many ways, which means you don't have control on your sexual desire, and somehow you think you have put it on a pedestal, right? You think this is going to give me happiness, this is great, and that's something very wrong, because it's never going to give you happiness, right? But eventually you are addicted to it, right? You are addicted to it. So later, even if you realize, even though you are not getting anything out of it much, but still you want to do it because you are just enslaved. You are slave to that. Then drinking. Next is drinking. That's also a big problem. If you are a habit of drinking, that's going to land you in a problem. We hear a lot in a lot of families, they drink and then they lose money, especially among the, labor class, those who are into, say, mystery and other kind of, say, blue-collar job who are into. So they have a lot of drinking habits, so they lose money. Even though they have money, but they lose, right? And even others also, even sometime when you have, I don't know, some problem or something, or you just for the sake of fun, right? So you lose a lot of money, and that is also addiction. And gambling, of course, gambling is something where you just put your money. And in today's time, sometimes even the so-called investment, right? It has kind of become like that. So one has to be careful about that, because there are a lot of wrong information, wrong kind of people, scammers who try to allure you, and you put money here, there, and you lose money, right? So that's also kind of gambling, where gambling is what you just risk your money on something, right? You just put all your money in something, and boom, it is gone. It is just gone, right? So you shouldn't put your money into something which has a lot of risk, a lot of problems, so a lot of uncertainty. So that's where it is. And having bad friends. So if you have bad friends, what they will do? They will say, okay, let's do this, let's do that, all kinds of stupid thing, all kinds of, strange thing, and they will put you in some problem. But one of the problem with bad friend is that they don't look bad, right? they come up with such a nice face, and then they butter you, right? They butter you. They say, "Oh, you're great. You're so this. You're so that." And then you're like, "Really? You're. I think you're really my friend because you're so nice to me." So you have to be very careful. So sometimes even recognizing a bad friend is also a challenge, right? So you have to be aware of that as well. And companions. So companions means people who are, say, kind of friend, but may not be so close friend, but some company, right? And associates, people they may not be your friend, but they with whom you are associate. So you have some association, maybe with regard to work, with regard to whatever, right? Business associate or cultural associate or religious associate, whatever. So so they can also drain your wealth. They can also take your money away. They may fool you. They may trick you. They may put you in all of that. So very careful. So Buddha gave example: large reservoir, large dam, 4 inlet, 4 outlet. If somebody closes the inlet, opens the outlet, the dam is finished. The dam has no water, right? So it's like these 4 things are like you are closing your inlet, you are closing your dam water. So you close your dam water, and your life become dam. Your life become gone, right? So which is the womanizing, drinking, gambling, and having bad friends, companion, associate. So also the opposite of it. So now, first is how you get your wealth, and secondly, how you protect your wealth. Now, one of the things you see here is that in both of these, right, earning the wealth and losing the wealth, one thing is common in both of these. What was that? Can you tell? The friendship, right? In the first one also, friend. In the second one, friend. So you can see your friend is a very important part. So now it is about your finance, money, wealth, how it is lost, how it is gained. So primarily that, because most of your life time goes into that, right? You do job, 9-to-5 job, or business, sometimes maybe 9-12-hour job you are doing, right? So because your time goes into that, so naturally Buddha is addressing to that, right? Which is your time. So there you have to be mindful, careful, and you have to be ethical, you have to be generous, and you have to avoid certain addictions, certain kind of things that are pulling you down. Now Buddha is going to the next step, which is these 4 things lead to the welfare and happiness of a gentleman, a person in future lives, in this life and future. What for? happiness of this life and also in future. What for? Accomplishment in faith, ethics, generosity, and wisdom. So for your further growth in this life and the next life, you need to have 4 things. What that is? Faith, ethics, generosity, wisdom. Saddha, Shila, Chaga, Dana. So these are more like a spiritual quality, you know. So you can see first you have to earn, of course, earn well and protect it, guard it, and not allow your wealth to just go away, right? You have to do that. But now, then what? You just enjoy the wealth or what? Right? So Buddha is saying, okay, you can enjoy the wealth within the limit, right? Within, within whatever which is moderate, you know. And then you don't go into some kind of a bad habit or some kind of addiction. Instead, you go to spirituality. So you earn well, you enjoy your life, but at the same time, maybe you eat well, clothe well, you know, some kind of fun also. But then you go to the parallelly or along with that, you have to go with the spiritual quality. That is faith. So first one is faith. So you have to have faith in somebody whom you look up to, you know, who can elevate your mind, who can give you that kind of higher happiness, right? Because as I said, the sensual happiness is a happiness, but it has its own limitation. It has limitation, it has certain its own weaknesses, right? It is not ultimate. So you need to have somebody who can give you higher happiness, ultimate happiness, as Buddha said, Paramam Sukham. So you need to have, for that you need to have faith in somebody. So here in this case, Buddha. So we have faith in Buddha, that he is somebody. Now if you look at Buddha, he was a prince, right? He was a prince. He had 4 different palaces, and he had a beautiful wife, a child, and everything. He was very great in sport, in education, in everything, in administration. But then why he left home and became a monk? Because at that point, he didn't get any teacher who could teach him to further grow his life. So growth in life, you know, it's not just about material life. It's about your inner life, which is your spiritual life, your mind, right? So your mind is more bigger, more larger, more stronger, more superior, more greater, you know, more far-reaching than the physical world. So he didn't left home because he had a problem. He had the top lifestyle, you can say, in terms of worldly life. You know, it was top. He was living the best of his life, but of course that was not giving full satisfaction. That's how it is. It can't, right? So that's why Buddha leaves home and he achieved enlightenment, you know, which means he is free from all the greed, hatred, ignorance. So Buddha is saying, until we give up completely our inner greed, hatred, ignorance, you know, all the negative mind, we will not be totally happy. You know, how much you enjoy in sensual pleasure, it's not going to give you ultimate happiness until you give up all the negative from the mind. So which is Buddha gave up. Buddha did that. You know, he through his practice he could give up all of that. That's why it's called Arahang. Arahang means somebody who destroyed his enemy, which is the inner enemy, you know, and got the ultimate happiness of Nibbana. Nibbana. It is called Nibbana, where your mind is totally free, totally liberated. So why we are not happy? Because of our inner defilements. So when that is gone, you are happy. At that point, even if you don't have all the pleasures of life, you are still happy. So Buddha, after his enlightenment, what he had? One cloth and one bowl, that's it. And he used to walk and teach, walk and teach, walk and teach, that's it. He used to sleep in under a tree sometime in monastery. He was happy. He had no any problem. For 45 years he did that. So that's how. So we need to have a strong faith in Buddha, right? So that all the 9 qualities of Buddha. Buddha is the teachers of both gods and men, human being, and also devas and brahmas. And he has ultimate knowledge. He has knowledge and conduct, right? And he has a skill. He has the ultimate skill how to help us, how to make us understand Dhamma. So he has the ultimate skill that he has, and he is awakened. He is omniscient. And so we need to have a strong faith in Buddha. So you can read about Buddha, his lifestyle, his teaching, so that you get a lot of faith in Buddha. Because if you don't have faith in Buddha, then we are not going to follow Buddha. And if you're not going to follow Buddha, then we are not going to gain happiness, right? Then the next one is, what is accomplishment in ethics? Shila. What is ethic? Ethic is our conduct. So what is that? The 5 things. You should not kill anybody, not steal, not commit sexual misconduct, not tell lie, and not consume alcoholic drinks. So these are the 5 things. So, your conduct, your speech and your action should be good, Or in other words, we can say whatever you're thinking, doing, and speaking should be good, That is very important. That is very helpful, because that gives us a lot of freedom, lot of free from many problems. Because if you're doing all of this, you will have some problem, lot of different problems. And what is accomplishment? Generosity. It's when a gentleman lives at home, rid of the stain of stinginess, freely generous, open-handed, loving to let go, committed to charity, loving to give and to share. So third one is generosity, chaga. So you have to have a generous mind, right? Whatever you have, within that you should. Generous doesn't mean you give everything you have. You have it, but within that, whatever possible within your capacity, you have to share, help, and you have to give. Otherwise, you are just too much attached, and then you will suffer. If you will have a lot of attachment, and you will suffer. So because today you have, tomorrow you may not have, right? So when you don't have, you will not suffer. But if you have, you are not giving anybody anything, then when you don't have, you will suffer more, because you will develop a lot of attachment. So that's why you need to give, within your capacity, you need to give. Buddha says in other place that you need to organize your finances, right? First for your day-to-day need, and then for your business, third for your emergency, and fourth for sharing, charity, giving. You can give to people who need, some needy people, or helping some friends or other people, and giving to the monks who are who left everything so giving them, that's also a blessing. And what is accomplishment in wisdom? It's when a gentleman is wise. He has the wisdom of arising and passing away, which is noble, penetrative, leads to the complete ending of suffering. This is called accomplishment in wisdom. So wisdom is to see, to understand arising and passing away, that how everything comes up and passes away, right? So arising and passing away. And this is vipassana, right? Today we did meditation. So if you do meditation regularly and more time if you give, then you will see, your thoughts. It's different thoughts are coming, going. Those thought is coming, this thought is going, this feeling is coming, this feeling is going, and and so also this kind of emotion is coming and going. So you will see in meditation that everything is just coming and going, right? So you will understand that everything is coming and going. The whole world, right? We are born, we become aged, we die, thought, certain feeling you get and you lose that feeling, certain thought comes and it goes. So there is nothing, right, which is static. Everything is changing and changing. So when you have this strong awareness, strong awareness which is constant within your heart, then you will lose attachment to things, and which means you will become liberated, you become free, right? So that is wisdom. So that's something you get, right? So these are the 4 things that lead to the welfare and happiness of gentlemen in future life. So you in this life and in future life. So you should not just think about this life, you should think about future life, because until you achieve Nibbana, enlightenment, you will have lives. You will have lives after lives after lives after life, right? So you have to think about that. So when you have faith, generosity, shila, conduct, and wisdom, then you will have a good life now, and you will have a good life in future as well, right? So and then eventually you will achieve Nibbana, that is enlightenment, that is freedom from this whole process of birth and death itself, right? So now the sutta concludes with some kind of verse. They are enterprising in the workplace, diligent in managing. So it summarizes the sutta in the form of gatha, slokas. They are enterprising in the workplace, diligent in managing things. They balance their finances and preserve their wealth. Faithful, accomplished in ethics, bountiful, rid of stinginess. They always purify the path to well-being in lives to come. And so these 8 qualities of a faithful householder are declared by the one who is truly named to lead to happiness in both sphere, welfare and benefit in this life, and happiness in the future lives. This is how, for a householder, merit grows by generosity. So Buddha's teaching for this person, Vegpaja, his Dīghajāṇu. So his name is his surname is Vegpaja. His name is Dīghajāṇu. So this is how, even though you can be a householder, but still you can grow in spirituality. You can also achieve the ultimate happiness of spirituality in this life itself, right? It is possible in this life itself. And some of the things which Buddha mentioned here, it is helpful for this life also, right? You don't need to wait for next life. You do all this miserable thing and say that this is going to, maybe my next life will be good. No, you can have a very happy life, spiritual life in this life itself. In fact, you can achieve the ultimate happiness, which is Nibbana, in this life itself. And Buddha said you can achieve in this life itself. You can experience for yourself the ultimate, whatever that ultimate is, ultimate happiness is. So this is the teaching the Buddha gave, and so I hope it is clear to you, and because we don't have much time, so I have made it short, but it is something we need to gradually understand and practice as well. So we have to practice it, right? Just listening, it's not okay. We have to practice it, and so in other words, your life is so much depend on yourself, right? Buddha is not saying, okay, I will just do something and your life will be great. No, he's saying that this is the path that you need to follow, and then you will be happy, right? You will achieve your mundane happiness as well as the highest happiness. Whatever that highest is, you will get it, right? So you have the responsibility that you have to take the charge of your life. You can't depend on somebody. You can't depend even for anybody, including Buddha. Buddha also says, I just show the path, you have to walk. So I'm a teacher. I can't do something for you. You have to do it. So nobody can do it. Neither your mother, father, friends, relatives, anybody, yourself. You are responsible for yourself. Of course, others are there to help, like Buddha is there to help, your parents is there to help. Everybody is there to help you, but you have to do it. You have to do it. Nobody can do for you. So you can't blame anybody, right? You can't just blame anybody. You have to do it for yourself. You can't blame somebody. You have to depend on yourself. So this is what the Buddha said, and this is how we can go about, and we see how we will know how it is helpful to us, how it is going to make us better in our life, better person, better life, and ultimate happiness. So we conclude. With this I conclude here. May you all be happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.